Welcome to Garden Cafe. I'm Maureen, and this is my Central Texas Zone 8B 9A garden. And today is beginning the October garden tour part 1. Front side of the house and down along the right side. Part 2 will be the back and up on the other side. So let's get going. Now, officially, it is fall for most of the country. Down here, we're still in the 90s during the day and the 70s at night. So we're not feeling it so much yet. I mean, it's a little cooler. It's 10, 15 degrees cooler, but not enough to go, ooh, wow, get me a sweater. Anyway, my roses seem to be really enjoying life with these slightly cooler temperatures. I did fertilize. Now we down here we can fertilize pretty much for another month. Not recommended going into the winter season because you don't want new growth. You don't want the plant to be damaged. But for here, October's just fine. Beginning of October is just fine for fertilizing. So, but I think it's really the cooler night temperatures that are definitely making my roses pop a little bit more. And mixed in here are the Costco roses, which are more the purplish, and then these fire and ice roses. I got a bare root that I planted, bare root rose that I planted here in the spring, and it really has grown quite a bit. You can see a few more down here. Has grown quite a bit. I actually do love it, but this is the first year, so I'm looking forward to what this is going to look like next year. All of my window boxes here along the railing, the moss roses, absolutely love them. And I also have them over here, and they have just been winners. And then I even started a few from seed and planted them down in here. I love them. Absolutely love them, but they're starting to lose, getting chlorotic a little bit. And I have a feeling these do not appreciate the cooler temperatures as much as some of the other plants do. What I started in the window boxes and down here in the spring was the petunias, which were absolutely gorgeous. I went to these sometime at the end of June. Honestly, I think I'll probably start mid-June next year because these were just wow all summer long. And then, yeah, end of September, beginning of October, I think, within the next few weeks, I'm going to start transitioning back into petunias for the window boxes. But moss roses were definitely fabulous for my garden, for Central Texas, for the worst, hottest part of the year. Everything here in the front swoop is still blooming. The Mystic Spires, God, I absolutely love it. I'm really hopeful that this year, because it is so much more developed, that this will overwinter and grow back next spring. It just adds such a beautiful pop of color. Through here, I've got firecracker plants. They're not blooming as much as they did. They have little teeny pops of red, but I think that they're probably, I don't know, maybe going out for the fall. I have no idea. But I seriously, as you can see, and man, I've come in here to thin this out, but what I need to do is just be brutal. Go in there and absolutely rip everything out that is not a plant that I absolutely want in there. And I think that the other plants that are left will definitely appreciate that. That is going to be a serious job because this front swoop is definitely got a lot of this. As far as this part, these are the profusion zinnias my sister gave me cuttings or gave me little seedlings of in the spring. Folks, good Lord. I mean, tell me that isn't absolutely stunning. I am so going to go with profusion zinnias going forward, especially for this lower level. My problem last year was the plants, everything I grew on the lower level was tall and you couldn't see what was behind it on the upper level. I wanted to change that this year, and I think I was successful here in this section. Now I do have some angelonium that is growing in here that's getting a little bit taller, but God, isn't that gorgeous also. The dahlias. This is where I did not succeed. These dahlias were definitely taller plants and they pretty much obscured everything that was behind it. On the upper level, this Swarry Kawaii, guys, this is the purple kind. I've got white, I've got pink. There are several different colors. Texas loving, heat loving plant, but it will continue to look absolutely gorgeous going into the fall. So this is definite if you want a lot of pop of color. And as I said, it comes in several different colors. It does not grow super tall. It's somewhere between 12 inches to max, maybe 18 inches. This is definitely a worthwhile plant to get. These geranium took forever to come back this year. Honestly, I went and got 2 small geranium plants to plant in here because I honestly didn't think the other ones were going to grow back, and sure enough, they did. So this is kind of a blend of what I bought in the spring and what actually grew back, but honestly, didn't start coming back until, good Lord, mid to late June. And in Central Texas, that is pretty late. This is my passion vine. It was decimated by caterpillars that turned into butterflies, which were gorgeous when they were flying all over the place for about a week. But literally every leaf, every flower, everything, it was just decimated into sticks. But as you can see, it's starting to grow back. I don't expect this to last for long. It'll be nice to get a few blooms out of this before our growing season ends. But for the most part, this will get cut down in December, January, and will regrow. This grows very rapidly. And I'm sort of hoping that it doesn't get destroyed again next year. I know, this is fabulous for butterflies. This is my newest and smallest no-till garden. This is Vitex, and I got these seeds from my sister's yard this past spring and planted them here. Now I am staking it and I am training this. I want it to grow into a tree. We have Vitex trees lining our street coming in. They're so stunning, and I'm really kind of hoping that's what I can do here. Whirling butterfly got from my sister. I need to deadhead these back, but these are so pretty, and I'll see if I can find a picture of when they were blooming literally like a week ago. They are gorgeous and they do last a while. This is Lucifer crocosmium. I got it from my sister's yard. Oddly enough, the ones that I did plant here, the bulbs that I did plant here are, as you can see, did not work. But the ones that I still had left in the pot in the garage, and I'll show you that in a minute, those are starting to grow leaves, oddly enough. I think that maybe just the entrance to my garage is a little bit better for starting this Lucifer crocosmia. I am not sure. And then back here is the yucca. Looks like a few blades of grass, but folks, it is growing. And every so often I notice a new blade of grass. I'm really hoping this area just fills in and overflows with color and beauty next year. And here we have a few pentas that is growing well. First time I've grown them here. Chocolate chip ajuga down here. Obviously, those won't bloom until spring. But I think I for sure will plant pentas in this area going forward. It just adds pretty color. This is the Exorta, growing, healthy, bigger, not blooming a whole bunch. I'm going to look into why or what I can do to help get those blooms moving. Maybe some special fertilizer. Going to do some research. I am seriously excited going into fall, and I'll bring you in a little bit closer. There are thousands of buds for these mums, and I fully expect that to just explode in gorgeous color over the next month and a half. More profusion zinnias. My hibiscus, again, not very happy. Half of it is chlorotic. I have fertilized it. I will get in there and deadhead it again. The blooms never seem to fully open. A few times they have, and I'll put a picture here, and they're gorgeous. They're worthwhile. But for the most part, not the happiest plant in the world. Behind them, the purple and white angelonium. You can also see that up here in the raised bed behind the moss roses. Those have always been go-to plants in Central Texas. And over here in my Mexican petunia garden, this part, of course, is not Mexican petunias, just profusion zinnias, a few dahlias that I really cut back mid-July, and that are coming back and looks like they have buds. So I expect those to bloom and be pretty gorgeous here pretty soon. This little bicycle that my sister Rachel got me for my birthday, I started moss rose seeds from inside, just planted them out last month. I think I have a video where yes, I do have a video where I planted these out. And they're starting to bloom. You can look at the lower one. It's very pretty. It's starting to bloom. All of my dahlias in here, again, all cut back in July, all starting to grow back, all putting forward buds. So I'm really looking forward to gorgeous foliage here, gorgeous flowers here in the next month or so. Down here, purslane, that is one. It's just a go-to in my yard, in my area of Central Texas. Love heat, love the drought, and they just constantly bloom flowers during the summer. And then over to my gorgeous Mexican petunias. Absolutely love these flowers. Absolutely do. And I'll tell you folks, if you look down the fence, they spread. They totally spread. So if you do get these, fully plan on getting in there and cutting out a whole bunch of Mexican petunia babies, unless, you know, you want to just give over an entire area to these, which to me wouldn't be out of the question. They are stunning. So love them. These 2 terracotta pots we got from our neighbors before they moved, and we decided to put purslane in here. Can't remember what I originally had in here, but going into summer, it just was not happy. And I knew purslane was sort of the go-to. I think this just does not get enough sun to truly shine the way that purslane does when it is in more sun. So I'm probably going to look for an alternative plant in here that is part sun, can handle the heat. It does have irrigation. I did add irrigation, so that's not one of the issues. Over here in the corner, I planted polka dot plants in both of these. As you can see, this one over here on the left is so much nicer than the one on the right, although the right one is coming back. There were no holes at the bottom of that pot, and stupidly, I did not think of drilling holes for drainage. So it basically sat in water, and when it came to my attention, the water was just stagnant. Kind of surprised the plant didn't just outright die, but it's still alive. I cut it back. I drilled the holes. So honestly, I love that polka dot. And I'm going to bring you a little closer here for this because it really just adds a nice pop of a little bit of color, a little bit of a break from the solid green. Clerodendron back here, the big ones, they have yet to flower. I'm not sure why. I do have some on the other side of the yard that has. These are gorgeous, and I fully expected them to be as tall as the fence and blooming gorgeous pink flowers. Here, I'm going to need to come up with an option to the caladium in the center with the hostas on the side. They just did not appreciate this zone here in the corner. This is the polka dot plant. It's so pretty. It really is. When I've looked at it, when I've filmed this in the past, I realized you didn't see the detail, so I did want you to see the detail. I have other multicolor polka dot plants on the back porch that will be in part 2 of my October garden tour. But this is the pink and green, and frankly, folks, I just love it. So I'm really hopeful the other side's going to start bouncing back again as well. This is my teeny faux well with, again, purslane. And I'm telling you, folks, you can get this in just about every color. Blooms just in the worst heat, worst drought. Now these you will start getting, you'll see, they'll start getting chlorotic. They'll look less vibrant over the next month or so. They do not appreciate cooler temperatures in the evenings. Cooler temperatures meaning in the 70s here, folks, but these guys like 24/7 heat, so they will start looking less vibrant, and I will, as the same way that I'm going to do with the window boxes on the front railing, I will transition back to petunias in here. Early spring, later fall, petunias do very well in my area. And up here is the coleus. I did cut it back. It is growing back. It likes this. It's under so much shade, so this is just a perfect location for it. This is my sad second year attempt at a food garden. Tomato plants. They did not grow much, but it's really not their fault. They were growing over here, and we put the shed in halfway through the summer, and I transplanted a few of the tomato plants down here. Clearly, they don't appreciate being moved, but actually, I don't know. I'm just going to let it go, see what happens. My herbs seem to be the big winners. The basil, thyme down at the base, onions. I mean, those seem to really do enjoy this area. Let me think. Oh, marigolds. Planted marigolds. Someone said if you plant marigolds in front of your food crops, the bugs will stay away from them and the critters will stay away. It seems to have worked. I have not had an issue with bugs or critters coming in here. Over there, my blackberry plant and black raspberry and the blueberry, they're growing, they're healthy, have not yet produced one piece of fruit. Second year for the black raspberry, first year for the bluebonnet, third try, but first year for that particular bluebonnet, blueberry plant. We'll see. I'm going to keep trying. And these were just, you know, an experiment that I did with avocados. Had avocado seeds left over after making guacamole. Thought I'd plant them. They're growing. They're pretty. They belong in the food garden. Anyway, I'm going to rethink this entire area next year. Other than herbs, I'm going to expand on the herbs a little more because obviously I have more success with that. But I'm going to plan this out just a little bit better with plants that might have a better chance of producing food or herbs or berries or whatever else I want in here next year. Well, that's it for part one of my October garden tour. And folks, I'm sweating like crazy. You would never know it's fall in Central Texas. If you enjoyed my video, please hit subscribe, like, and share. It helps me to grow my channel. Have a wonderful day.